So ultimately, you're trying to decide between the Shark Navigator Lift Away, the Shark Navigator Lift Away with the Self-Clean Brushroll, and the Shark Navigator Lift Away Professional. But let me just get some of the similarities right out of the way. They all come with the same 1200 watt motor. If you're looking at the front end on these lift aways, the traditional Navigator lift away and the professional Navigator lift away both have small windows in the front, so they're going to be smaller. And if you want to empty or clean the brushes on the bottom of them, you'll notice that they don't come with the ability to open this up, especially when you compare it to something like the Shark Self-Cleaning Brushroll Navigator Lift Away. The button positions, the power buttons in terms of how to turn it on, how to trigger and set up the lift away feature, how you release the dust cup, how you clean them, where the filters are located, almost everything else is going to be identical. So now let's talk about the key differences. Well, the key differences will come in with the self-cleaning brush roll. Here allows you to have a more versatile brush roll, and it's going to be able to be opened up so you can have better access to clean it in case it ever gets clogged. How do you decide which Navigator is right for you? I'm going to make it really easy. If you are vacuuming all the time, that means you're cleaning up after kids, you got 2,000 square feet of vacuuming every single week, you're probably going to want to go with the professional, even though the self-cleaning brush roll is very good. And that's because you can't beat having a larger dust cup. If you're looking at the dust bins, you're just judging like, oh, I could fill it up all the way to the top. Actually, you got to stop when it gets to just about the filter line, so right about here. On the professional version, you can get all the way up to here, which is pretty much the entire size of the dust cup inside of the regular liftaways. So that's one thing to look at. If you got some long-haired cats and some Labradors, the self-cleaning brush roll will be better primarily because the brush roll is better. Even though they all come with the same motors, you'll notice that on the self-cleaning brush roll, it works a lot better in terms of being able to clean up and clean after the brush roll regularly than either the Navigator Professional or the regular lift away. The features that are really cool on the traditional Navigator lift away is that it still comes with the swivel steering, you still get the same motor, you still get the same Hepa filter, you still get pretty much a lot of the same components as the more expensive or the more premium offerings from Shark. And it works just the same as all the others. You can just pop this off and then take this with you, and then when you're done, just pop this right back on. That's something that is extremely efficient, and this can save you money. At the best deals we've ever seen on the Navigator lift away here, we've seen this on Prime Day, on Amazon Prime Day, for as low as $100. At that price, you're not going to beat it. The closest thing from Bissell and a lot of the other manufacturers in terms of this lift away system is called Liftoff, and the Liftoff from Bissell is closer to 200 than 100. Just to show you how easy this is to lift off, all you got to do is press the button here, press it, and it will pop right off. You can take it with you, and it is light enough that I can swing it around. So this is a closer look at their brush roll design. You can see on the non-self-cleaning ones, it's just really a traditional vacuum with some grooves here. So it does have some anti-hair properties, but not really for anti-tangle. You get the same brush roll on the Navigator, no real difference. And you can see how much more advanced the self-cleaning brush roll is versus the other two. But you can also open it up completely, something you do not have the option to do on either this one or the professional. So another feature that makes the Navigators so interesting, just in general, all three of them, they're all going to be able to do this. So they basically come with a reach. So you just unlock it here, and then you could pop out the handle, giving you access to making this into a reach tool, so suddenly you have much more reach. You can just attach your attachments to the end here, and now really you have a very long wand that can pretty much reach the top of your ceiling as well as the top of your stairs. And because you have the lift off, you can just take this with you on the go, and now you have a pretty much a hand vac set that you can take around with you entire home and just sweep or dust or vacuum wherever you want, especially the tighter or smaller areas and the corners. So we're going to be running some tests to showcase to you how well these work as vacuums, and it starts really with the brush rolls. You can get a close look and a detailed look that the professional and the standard are basically having the same brush roll. There is a big difference between the self-cleaning brush roll, as we've been discussing. The wheels are also going to be similar on the standard and the professional, different from the self-cleaning because they have the rubber strips. If you look at the overall configurations, still pretty close between all three of them. You're not going to be mistaking which one is a Navigator because all three definitely look like Navigators. First up, let's see how our Shark with the self-cleaning brush roll does on human hair as well as cat hair. This is how easy it picks up everything, and there is no tangles because over time, if you just vacuum for another 2 or 3 minutes, the tangles are all gonna disappear. Now, this is how it works if you're using and picking up some dust, including food. It's gonna make more quick work out of it. And again, it really comes down to the combination of having a lot of power and that aggressive brush roll that just picks up everything. It is important to note, unlike the Bissell Clean Views, none of these are going to be coming with adjustable height, but it doesn't necessarily need it. We have a high pill carpet here. You're going to be able to see how well this performs, including when we use a tremendous amount of cat hair and pet hair on the floor. So one best thing about it is that it makes easy work. It has an incredible amount of suction power. It was trying to pick up this high pill rug off the floor, especially if you have it on carpet mode. There's no tangles here, and that's what makes it special. The more I vacuum, it's going to keep clearing itself, so it's going to do even a better job. And when I'm done vacuuming, this brush roll will be completely clean. Next up, we're going to be running the same test with the same debris that we're taking directly from the self-cleaning brush roll version of the Navigator, and we're dumping it on the floor and trying it out with the professional. Because you might notice there is really, on hardwood, no difference between the two except for having more clogs if you're using and picking up a lot of pet hair. All right, so this is what the brush roll looks like after you do that. If you take a close look at the Shark Navigator Professional, you can see how the hair has tangled inside of the brush roll, and compare relative to the Navigator self-cleaning brush roll. Even though we're going to keep operating it, you basically have to pluck out and cut out all the hair. It will not suck it up on its own. It just is a tangle. So after running more tests with our Shark Navigator lift away with the self-cleaning brush roll versus the non-self-cleaning brush roll, but the professional edition, let me just state out some of the key differences that we learned. So for one, if you're a big fan of off-roading, you might know this term called approach angle as well as clearance. So ground clearance is actually higher on the self-cleaning brush roll than on the normal liftaways, which means if you have a big pile of stuff, whatever debris, whatever you have that you're vacuuming up, the self-cleaning brush roll is going to have an easier time just because it has a higher ground clearance, and the approach angle is a little bit more rounded here versus straight. So it might not seem like a lot, but as you saw in some of our tests, this, if it's too big of a pile, it'll start pushing that pile. Here, almost everything got picked up just by being directly sucked into the brush roll. In overall noise levels, I do say that both of them are pretty similar. You hear more of a belt sound with your professional over the self-cleaning brush roll, but the self-cleaning brush roll is still pretty loud. So I wouldn't say that the noise is going to be that different in terms of the overall noise level between the two. So let me share with you another important difference with the Navigators and the self-cleaning brush roll. Regardless of which mode you have the self-cleaning brush roll on, if you have it on hard floors or you have it on carpet, both of them are going to be rotating the brush. What that means is that it's not rotating as fast on hardwood as you might have it on a carpet setting, but the brush roll is still rotating. On the Navigators, once you have it on hard floor, they don't rotate. It's just basically like a suction device where you have a brush here, but it's just really sucking everything in without rotation. The winner of our challenge was the Navigator with the self-cleaning brush roll. As long as it is cheaper than the Professional, if the cheap Professional and the self-cleaning brush roll Navigator are the same price, then it's really hard to pick. You just got to pick which one fits your lifestyle better. And with that, I'll catch you next time. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box, as well as hit that like or subscribe button. It really does help us make better content for you. And I'll catch you next time. This is Dave with the French Glow signing off. Bye, bye, bye.